The Narcotics Control Bureau in its affidavit has insisted the investigations have revealed an international linkage of Aryan Khan, which according to NCB prima facie indicates illegal drug procurement. The former Attorney General says no possession, no consumption. Why is Aryan Khan in jail for over 20 days since his arrest on the 3rd of October? And is a WhatsApp chat in an unrelated conversation admissible as evidence here? Let's decode this. Joining me on Newstrack is D. Banerjee, former officer of the Central Bureau of Narcotics. We also have Sanjay Hegde, senior advocate. Aman Sinha, senior advocate. Rahul Narvekar is a lawyer and a BJP MLA. Clyde Crasto is the spokesperson of the NCP. Tushar Giri is an advocate in the Supreme Court, and extremely interesting that there's a case of his that was referred to. But Rahul Narvekar, to you first. The former Attorney General says no possession, no consumption. Why is Aryan Khan in jail for over 20 days? Sir, have the arguments today completely exposed the Narcotics Control Bureau's case?
Now, where's the question of the Narcotics Control Bureau's case being exposed? The Narcotics Control Bureau has caught someone, they have booked someone, they have filed an FIR, they've produced him before the judiciary, they've expressed their case before the lower judiciary. The lower judiciary was convinced there's a prima facie case and therefore they've granted custody. Now the defense has come in appeal before the High Court. The High Court is considering the matter on merits. So what is exposed? There's nothing exposed. Nothing has changed from then and now. The fact remains that there is a prima facie case made out against Aryan Khan and his co-accused. There is reasons for him being granted judicial custody. He is occupying a position of dominance where he could influence witnesses. There are several other reasons. There is corroborative evidence showing his involvement.
There is no corroborative evidence at this stage.
In fact,
there is no corroborative evidence at this stage, at least on record. At least on record.
I am sorry.
Let me bring in Sanjay Hegde for a moment.
Who is going to assess or evaluate? No, I only want to know who is going to evaluate the evidence on record. The judiciary or us sitting on the panel?
Fair enough.
And the lower judiciary has already decided that.
Okay, and except maybe the lower judiciary, and Sanjay Hegde, you may like to weigh in on that. The lower judiciary referred it to a superior court given the charges that were pressed against Aryan Khan and the other co-accused in this case. But the Narcotics Control Bureau, Sanjay Hegde, in the affidavit claims that Pooja Dadlani, Shah Rukh Khan's manager, appears to have influenced the witness when investigations are ongoing, going on to claim that interference at this stage of investigation is mala fide and an attempt to ensure that probe is derailed and the quest for truth is obstructed. Sir, is that not ground for denial of bail? Sanjay Hegde, I think you're on mute, sir. Okay, Sanjay Hegde, if you can hear me, sir, you have to first unmute yourself. Nope. Okay, we will try and reestablish that link in just... Yes, go on, Sanjay Hegde. Nope, I think I've lost you once again. We will once again attempt and link up with you. But Tushar Giri, if I may put this question to you, merit in NCB saying that there is an attempt to influence witnesses by Shah Rukh Khan's manager, reason enough to deny bail?
Court rejected.
Give me a moment as we try and reestablish that link. But Mr. Banerjee, Mukul Rohatgi submitted in the Bombay High Court that there was no recovery from Aryan Khan. They said nothing to show he consumed drugs either, and no medical test was done. Sir, is the Narcotics Control Bureau case not on very flimsy ground here?
No, there are many cases where one may not possess the drug, but he may be involved in other ways, like financing, trafficking, transporting and all that. He may not possess the drug him personally. So in this case, they are going to show that he is probably involved in the conspiracy to get the drugs but he may not possess personally. Now the chats that have been recorded or which have been leaked out, those chats, I don't think those are very important, unless and until he has had the chat with someone who is already known to be a smuggler, who is a drug trafficker.
Okay.
You
I'll
just
come to
talk
chats
someone
in just a
about drugs,
moment.
that doesn't make
I'll
it
come
an
to
offense.
chats in just a moment. But if I stay on the evidence that is on record so far, and Sanjay Hegde, I believe we have your audio back. You want to weigh in if someone close to Shah Rukh Khan is alleged to be trying to influence witness, as the NCB claims in its affidavit, is there not grounds for denial of bail, sir?
No, if the witnesses are being influenced despite the man being in jail, what difference will it make if the man comes out? This is a self-defeating argument. What kind of witnesses do you have? You take a man to sign your papers, and the man then turns around and says that, look, I signed blank papers. The man obviously has taken several videos of what all happened inside, and it's all coming out. Essentially, look, for a 6-gram recovery of charas, most cases would not, in the ordinary course, even reach court. Things would have been sorted out administratively. This is a case where something had to be found, and thereafter the NCB seems to be doubling down. Now you make it you're tampering with witnesses, you are making it an international conspiracy, you are linking all kinds of chats. Essentially, a lot of mud is being thrown in the hope that something sticks.
Okay.
Therefore, the defense has done a classical job of saying, look, this is the case. The case is about recovery from my friend. You can't prove that it was conscious possession on my part.
Yes.
You arrested me and my friend even before we boarded the ship. You never recovered my mobile phone in the manner known to law. And in any event, all these WhatsApp chats that you speak about are entirely unconnected.
Okay.
Before I came on, I heard somebody speak of another person who's a dealer. Please be very careful about what you say about young children. This, the other man is supposed to have, they were supposed to be discussing poker.
Okay.
Yes, but if you decide that you can only see a drug haul and you can see the stardom and glory in that.
Aman
and you
Sinha.
want to make out a case, fine.
Okay. Aman Sinha, Aryan Khan, it is argued, was not, as Sanjay Hegde was putting it, not in conscious possession of drugs. If drugs were indeed found in Arbaz merchant's shoes, and there again, there is an allegation that those drugs were planted, sir, can they be linked to Aryan Khan? Can it be seen as conscious possession?
Well, Gaurav, we all have to understand that NDPS Act is a specialized statute whose the objective is to discourage the consumption of drugs and narcotics. Now, stringent bail conditions have been laid down in Section 37 of the Act for a specific purpose. And the bail conditions are twofold. A, that prima facie, if it is held that prima facie is not guilty, then bail will be granted. Or, Gaurav, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. But again, the point is, are those
Secondly,
cases
Gaurav,
made
if I may
out?
complete,
Are those cases made out given the evidence on record so far, sir?
That is right. That is what the competent court has categorically held. So the first condition is that prima facie, it should emerge that accused is not guilty of committing this offense. Second is that he is not likely to commit this offense. These are the only two conditions which have been laid down very clearly and squarely in Section 37 of the Act. Now, what the NCB says and what court has also gone on to hold is, based on the evidence which was there on record at this point in time, is that he had certain connections or interactions with drug dealers, international drug dealers also. This is what court has said. There was something on record to suggest that he's been in touch. Also on record to suggest that he was in habit of consumption for some time, which was not denied also. And the evidence was also suggesting that there is a clear thread of conspiracy which connects all the accused who are there. And therefore, considering the case law which is there on this particular point, in case of whether Nawaz Khan or in case of Shobhik Chakravarti, not in possession of drugs is not a ground for granting bail at all, because it's not only consuming or possessing, but it is also, if you are an important link in the chain, and you are, either distributing or procuring, if these are the nature of allegation, then that is also something which has to be examined.
Examined and proven in a court of law. Proven in a court of law. Okay, before I bring in Sanjay Hegde wants to quickly come in.
Come at the stage of trial, but
okay,
today,
Sanjay Hegde, come in on the point that's been raised by Aman Sinha, that not possessing drugs on your person is not grounds for bail, is his argument, sir.
Not innocent.
No, if that was the law, every time that Aman and I got into a car together, then I'd be responsible for whatever is in Aman's pocket. That is not the law. Secondly,
who is saying that is the law?
37 applies only in 37 applies only when there is a question of 27A. 27A is for financing illicit traffic and harboring offenders. There is no evidence on record at all that Aryan Khan was financing or harboring an offender. 27A was not invoked at the time of the initial FIR, nor in the first remand application. It was only invoked later, because you wanted to make an example out of this man or his ecosystem. You have decided to throw the kitchen sink, the bath water, and everything at him, and you're hoping that something sticks.
And Mukul Rohatgi has argued that it is vague, general, amorphous.
As long as possible.
Okay.
Gaurav, if I may respond quickly, Gaurav.
Okay, quickly, sir. 30 seconds before I bring in Tushar.
To proceed on legal principles and the case law which has been laid down on this point, and the law which is laid down in the statute in section 37. They cannot proceed on such perceptions and such blanket sweeping arguments. Now, as far as WhatsApp chats are also concerned, because a question was raised by you at the outset, let me tell you that Supreme Court in the judgment of Ambalal Sarabhai has clearly held that WhatsApp chats are admissible as evidence. All that is required is that they are required to be proved under section 65B, and I'm sure that a certificate or accompanying affidavit can surely be given.
Where is it?
Should it lead to recovery? Should it be corroborative? Tushar Giri, Mukul Rohatgi has also argued that drugs were planted on Arbaz Merchant, that he brought in the Ragini Dwivedi, actor Ragini Dwivedi case. If consumption is the only crime, does it, in your appreciation, drawing that parallel, make a fit case for bail?
No, Gaurav, it makes it completely a fit case for bail. The Supreme Court, as early as this year, I had the opportunity to file a case for Ragini Dwivedi. She was an actress of Karnataka. A similar case was made by the CCB in Bangalore. Everything was tried to malign her reputation. At best, the Supreme Court observed that it is a case for personal consumption. The maximum punishment is 1 year. And in that scenario, you cannot try to stick other charges like 27A, which then attract the strict rigors of bail in NDPS Act. We must understand that all offences under NDPS Act do not attract the strict rigors of bail. Only in few conditions, only in few sections, then only your bail becomes slightly difficult in comparison to a normal case. The prosecution is expected to be acting in a fair manner.
Okay.
This is absolutely unfair in the way they have conducted themselves. Leaking of chats, which anyway, if they mean anything, you should say it. You have the trial to prove your case, but not at a time when bail is pending before the High Court. With deepest respect to the Sessions Court, bail should have been granted for those of us who practice before Sessions Court. If not for the disadvantage of being a star kid, he would have been granted.
Introduction of 27A. But before we come on the WhatsApp chats, because remember, that's extremely interesting. And as far as parents are concerned or youngsters are concerned, there is a lot of conversation that takes place on WhatsApp. Any conversation, can it link a person to a crime, send him to jail? Before I come to that aspect legally, Clyde Crasto, in midst of all this, we have Maharashtra's Cabinet Minister Nawab Malik, who's trying to intimidate, as Samir Wankhede and his family argue, he's trying to sort out a personal issue, and intimidate the investigating officer or the zonal director. What does Samir Wankhede's religion or caste have to do with investigations, sir?
Well, there's no question of intimidating the investigation or anybody. The question here is that when something is put out in the public domain and we've raised some questions, there need to be some answers for it. Because, what you're saying about Aryan Khan and all the chats, that the Honorable Court will decide. But here, what we brought out in the open, there's a question of who's KP Goswami? He's a wanted fugitive. How does he become a witness and informer? Is he allowed to drag an accused into the NCB office under what NDPS law or NCB rule is he allowed to do so? Then you have Manish Bhanusali, who claims to be a vice president, was a vice president, but he's such an extraordinary guy that he's got pictures with the Honorable Prime Minister and the Home Minister. Then suddenly in the middle of the night, we get visuals where brother-in-law for BJP functionary is allowed to go home. If 8 to 10 people, like what they said, they were not sure, 8 to 10 people, we said no, there were 11 people that were brought to the NCB office, then 3 people were let go. Why were they let go? Questions are going to come. And then let me tell you something. Prabhakar Sen,
how does all of that have any link whatsoever with Samir Wankhede's religion, whether he's Hindu or Muslim, Dalit or not, and his caste? How does that come into this?
No, I'll tell you. There is a series of things. And the question here is, what comes up in question is his birth certificate, if he belongs to a particular religion, and what he has changed it to, that on those grounds he's taken up a job which could have gone to anybody deserving. That's the question we raised.
Rahul Narvekar, if questions are being raised about Samir Wankhede's integrity...
Gaurav Sawant, can I finish? Can I finish what I'm saying?
Okay.
The point here is, if Mr. Nawab Malik is wrong, then go to court. Rahul Narvekar, my very good friend, is also a lawyer. Let him go and take Mr. Nawab Malik to court. He can go take Mr. Nawab Malik to court. He's a lawyer himself.
Okay.
You can go apply section 419 and 500. Welcome to take him to court if he's wrong. But if he's not wrong, then things have to be proved out. Investigations have to be done, and everything has to be cleared out.
Respond, because if Samir Wankhede's integrity is being questioned, and here is a witness who's raising the issue of a 25 crore rupee extortion or bribe.
And that witness was witness number 1 till Sunday morning till he was proved wrong.
Yes. Then these are extremely serious allegations, Mr. Narvekar.
Gaurav, after listening to my friend Clyde, I can only say that Nationalist Congress Party should change its initials from NCP to NSCP, that is pseudo-secular Nationalist Congress Party.
Well, change the name for the party.
Change the
name of the party.
In a case of,
change the name of the party that you were an MLC for 6 years. You enjoyed all the perks as an MLC for 6 years. You want us to change the name of that party? Well, thank you for the suggestion, but we are not changing because you've done your bit.
Okay,
and
gentlemen, one by one.
Spokesperson of the same party.
Let him respond. Let him respond. I'll come back to you, sir. Let him respond. I'll come back to you, sir. Clyde Trasto, I'll come back to you, sir. Let Mr. Narvekar complete his point.
MLC of the same party, which party's name he wants to change. Now suddenly he's all that he wants to change.
Sir, you made that point. Mr. Narvekar, please respond, sir.
No, see, Clyde, I always knew empty vessels make the most noise, and you've personified that phrase today. That's all right.
Well,
if you want to have a discussion about
gentlemen, one by one,
I'm happy
please.
to do that. Let's not waste the time. Let's not waste the time of the viewers. Are you done? I'm not interested in this
Clyde
rubbish.
Trasto, hold on, please. Clyde Trasto's audio down. Rahul Narvekar, complete your point.
We should not waste the time of the audience discussing issues between you and me or between your party and me. That's not relevant and important. Let's discuss the issue at hand. If you don't have anything else to say,
sir, on the substantive point,
these flimsy and unwarranted, uncalled for discussion.
Mr. Narvekar,
now let me come on the substantive point. I have never seen such baseless, hollow, uncalled for, unwarranted allegations against an investigating officer. What does his caste, his creed, his marital status, his family background got to do with the merits of the case? Ridiculous. Here you have a person occupying a constitutional position. He's a minister, cabinet minister in the state of Maharashtra.
Yes.
He should be backing agencies and institutions, whereas he prefers to settle his personal scores with this officer. Please look at the sequence of events. Nawab Malik has a grudge to settle against Samir Wankhede, which is known to one and all. His son-in-law was arrested. He had promised and he has said it on national media. I will see to it that this officer is suspended, expelled.
Let me now come to the point of these WhatsApp chats.
He wants to get jurisdiction to the state government desperately.
Okay.
And that is the only reason why this entire controversy has been cooked up, so that the state government somehow gets to get in.
Okay.
And
but let me hold on, Rahul
taking action
Narvekar.
against
I want to
officers
come to
who
these
are trying
points,
to
and I
take
want
this
those
matter
chats,
to its
the
logical
chats between
conclusion.
Aryan
Having
Khan
said that,
and
having
Ananya
said that,
Pandey,
1 minute,
Sanjay
let me
Hegde.
complete.
Sir, you've made your point. Sir, you've made that point. Sir, you've made that point. But I want to come to these WhatsApp chats, because people have to be very clear what they talk to each other on WhatsApp. How much of it constitutes evidence in a court of law in a related or a completely unrelated case? Sanjay Hegde, if there is conversation, alleged conversation between Aryan Khan and Ananya Pandey, where is the weed? Or his conversation in a WhatsApp group where he says, let's do cocaine tomorrow, we'll get you guys fixed by NCB, we'll take it from you tomorrow. Sir, can that be linked, Sanjay Hegde, to the current Cruz case?
See, first and foremost, how did you get the WhatsApp? If you got it from a phone which you seized in accordance with the law, and then you took a clone of it and then gave a 65B certificate saying that this was on a computer system and we recovered it, then that could be considered. None of that exists in this case. In all that you can prove through the WhatsApp chat,
Yes.
somebody said that on WhatsApp. It is not proof that it actually happened. I may say 10 different things on WhatsApp. I mean, I was quite amused when you said that it's only the young who chat on WhatsApp. I think I am young, but all of us chat all kinds of things on WhatsApp. And supposing I say I could so kill you, Gaurav Sawant, does that mean I planned your murder?
Okay.
So therefore, you may take it that there is a chat, but that has to be proved independently with other evidence. And if the original chat is backed by a 65B certificate, then maybe everything can be put together. And
Respond,
that
Aman
is on
Sinha.
the stage of the trial.
At the stage of the trial, Aman Sinha, no mobile seizure on Panchnama, no consumption, no proof of sale or purchase. All these WhatsApp chats, according to Mukul Rohatgi, are unrelated to the current case, sir. So is this just an attempt to vilify the accused in this case or suspect in another case or a witness?
Gaurav, first of all, as far as legal position on admissibility of WhatsApp chats are concerned, the Supreme Court has categorically stated in the case of Ambalal Sarabhai that WhatsApp chats are admissible, but they are obviously secondary evidence. They have to be corroborated. They also have to be certified with a certificate under Section 65B of the Evidence Act. And those things obviously have to be there. Each and every case has to be examined in light of its own facts and circumstances and on its own merit. But at this point in time, as far as this particular case is concerned, the court has proceeded on the basis of the WhatsApp chats along with other corroborative evidence, whatever was present there, and come to a prima facie conclusion that this is not a case where he's prima facie being considered innocent. This is not a case where he's prima facie one can come to a conclusion that he will not consume any drugs if he is out on bail. And these are the only two requirements which are laid down under Section 37 of the Act.
Okay.
And therefore, it has to be the court in its own wisdom, based on the appreciation of evidence, whatever was available, has come to this conclusion. Investigation is going on. Supposing new evidence comes in, then court is entitled to take a fresh view on the matter.
Okay.
In any case, the appellate court, the high court, and other courts can also take a fresh view on the bail.
Tushar
So
Giri,
that depends.
in your appreciation, can these WhatsApp chats be linked to the current case, or is the Narcotics Control Bureau attempt bad in law and just an attempt, as some argue, to vilify Aryan Khan and Ananya Pandey?
So Gaurav, that cannot be said,
Gaurav,
because
from the look of it currently, it looks like an
court has exhaustively
Okay.
considered the evidence which has been there on record.
Okay.
There are
Aman sir, I'm
pointers
just
to
getting
the fact that...
Tushar Giri to respond, sir. Go on, Mr. Giri.
All right.
Yes, Gaurav, as I was saying, there is no doubt a WhatsApp chat is admissible, but this is not a mere coincidence, and it is very sad that the prosecution is not keeping personal liberty as sacrosanct. It has to act in a fair manner. These WhatsApp chats might be admissible, but this is definitely, from the look of it, looks like an attempt to vilify. But at best, Gaurav, what I want to say is that even if these chats are admissible, even if these chats are taken at face value, it is a case of personal consumption. There is no charge of financing illicit traffic. There is no charge of commercial quantity. There is no requirement as such of the court to look into the fact whether I am prima facie guilty or not, whether I will do commit such offences again or not. Section 37,
sir, except a claim of drugs worth 80,000 rupees. Would that be for personal consumption, sir? Except a claim, it's a claim of drugs worth 80,000 rupees allegedly brought from an accused Achit Kumar. So would that be for personal consumption? Of course, it has to be tested in a court of law. Okay, Sanjay Hegde, you want to come in before I bring in Mr. Banerjee?
Yeah, two things about the Ambalal Sarabhai case and WhatsApp. See, the Ambalal Sarabhai case itself says that emails and WhatsApp messages will have to be read and understood cumulatively to decipher whether there was a concluded contract or not. Its contents to be proved by trial during evidence in chief and cross-examination. Now, Ambalal Sarabhai was a civil case.
Yes.
In a criminal case, there's also the protection against self-incrimination. Mere WhatsApp chats do not amount to anything, assuming that even that they are there. In this case, they are not there because even the phone was not properly seized.
So, Mr. Banerjee, was this then a botched up investigation in the sense that there is no mobile seizure on Panchnama and WhatsApp chats, Mr. Banerjee, are being talked about? That's point one. Point two, Aryan Khan was detained on the 2nd of October, arrested on the 3rd of October. Today is the 26th of October. In your appreciation, is this long enough to at least place on record evidence gathered so far and not just, claims with no corroborative evidence, sir?
Let me be very clear. The investigation is not yet complete. The charge sheet has not yet been filed. There is time for the investigation to be completed. Till then, whatever evidence has been placed before the court, the learned court, after taking into consideration, has not bailed him out. So, we just cannot, we don't have any evidence. Whatever is being said right now is based on systematic leaks that have taken place, something on heresy and all that. We do not know what evidence it has been placed before the learned judges. It is for them to decide whether he should be bailed out or not.
Fair enough.
Till the charge sheet is filed, we just till the charge sheet is filed, we just cannot say.
Okay, Rahul Narvekar, what does Ananya Pandey's WhatsApp conversation or purported conversation yet to be proven as verified have to do with the current case, unless it's simply a selective leak for vilification just before bail plea hearing, sir?
See, please appreciate that it is not this single act of consumption or possession or peddling of drugs that is being investigated. The trail is being investigated. There could be a larger rot to this entire episode. You could this could and will possibly lead to a much larger syndicate operating within the system where drugs are being supplied to one and many in the society. So I think this is not a case which can be ignored. You could have the high and mighties who could be procuring drugs from this particular source. There are so many possibilities which need to be investigated. And at the end of the day, this is for eradicating a menace from the society at large. This is going to save the lives, careers, and lives of so many families, so many individuals.
Okay.
Why not? The question is why not? Rather than asking why should it be, why shouldn't it be?
Because
that's what you should be asking.
Fair enough. In all of this, where is corroborative evidence amidst reports that this is a witch hunt against the powerful people or influential people in our country? To all my guests, many thanks for joining me on this part of the debate. On the other side, Narcotics Control Bureau has actually said that Shah Rukh Khan's manager, Pooja Dadlani, she stands accused of influencing a witness and hampering ongoing investigation.